Want to only talk to my kid's mother? You got it! Exclamation mark. So this has been about 10 years ago now. I don't remember exactly what the issue was over. Probably grades or behavior. Edit. I asked my daughter if she remembers what it was about but never edited this part out when typing it. Nonetheless, I get a call one day from one of my kids' teachers. Hi, this is teacher. Can I speak to Mrs. Yarp? Quote. This is Mr. Yarp. How can I help you? Quote. I need to speak to Mrs. Yarp. Again. This is Mr. Yarp. How can I help you? Quote. I'll just call back and talk to Mrs. Yarp. Okay, but. Quote. Click. I think not too much of it and continue my day. A few days later I get essentially the same call. Teacher refuses to speak to me and will only speak to Mrs. Yarp. About a week later my kid brings home a letter from the teacher saying they need to speak to Mrs. Yarp. And here is an appointment for her to show up to on X date and X time. I get pissed. This happens a lot. Doctor offices. Various appointments have a hard time wrapping their head around a single male parent. Many times I got, oh well, usually the mom bring them, or, usually mom takes care of this. Those lines always pissed me off to no end, and I would always make them eat their words by saying, well, mom can't do this since she died insert years ago. I always liked the look of shock and horror on their faces when they processed that information. Anyways, QMC. I am beyond pissed that this teacher refuses to talk to me and only wants mom. So the day of the meeting I get the papers she requested. Get dressed up. Grab a copy of my wife's death certificate and the icing on the cake. My wife's urn. I walk into the school with the items, and when the teacher comes into the office she said something along the lines of, I specifically said mom needs to be here. I say, loud enough that all staff in the office can hear, mom is absolutely here. Right here in this urn. Here is the death certificate. Go on, talk to her, tell her whatever you need to tell her. You refused to tell me. All other staff looked while she just turned red from embarrassment. What was it for? What did she need to tell my wife so bad she refused to speak to me? My daughter was doing fantastic in math and she wanted to put her in advanced math. After that I filed a complaint with the principal. The next school year teacher wasn't at the school. IDK if she moved or was fired or what, but that's my MC. OMG, wow. I'd be so pissed. But you handled that with a superb sense of humor to make them eat their words for such an offensive person forcing you into such a horrible situation. Hopefully they never make that mistake again. Dad here. I am a parent, not just a dude who hangs out with kids. This is the finest exhibition of malicious compliance I've ever seen on this sub. Bravo op. I have been a teacher since 2004 and find this kind of behavior infuriating. How can a teacher make assumptions about any student's family life? It is inexcusable. The only legitimate time I can think it reasonable to only speak to one parent and not the other. If as one parent has sole custody. This was unacceptable. She definitely earned her embarrassment. The fact that you brought the urn in with you is an absolute genius move. I hope it also changed the way some of the other teachers who saw interacted with contacting home. I'm sorry for your loss. But man, her face must have been so funny. I am dreadfully sorry that the death of your wife and all difficulty that followed is compounded by this insensitive fool of a teacher. I was seriously hoping there was going to be an urn involved. Not just the death certificate. As soon as I caught on to what was happening, I wanted that extra level of embarrassment for those pushing the issue. That pisses me off so much, how people treat single dads like shit. A good friend of mine is a single dad and went to one of those support groups for single parents. Turns out he was the only male there, and boy did he feel unwelcome. Apparently single parents actually meant single mothers only. Suffice to say, he never went back to that group. This was perfect. I'm sorry about your wife, and I hope that teacher learned her lesson. As a mom, I say fuck that shit so hard. What the fuck? This is also something that would have taken the teacher 10 seconds of talking to the child to have dealt with too. Hello SandorYarpClegane youngling. I think you're doing great, and I'd like to speak to your mother about putting you in more advanced classes. Oh no. My mother died. You'll have to speak to my father. Or, get this, just talk to the child about advanced classes. It is their life after all. When I went to school, the level of class 1 was between me and the teacher, and I'm pretty sure my parents had nothing to do with that beyond them showing up to prove I had parents at the mandatory parent-teacher evenings they had once a year. I work in social services. I've brought this up at my work before. We have forms that ask for the mother's name but not the father's. The forms also assume that a child can only have a male or a female parent. Just say parent A and parent B. Sheesh. They're slowly changing, but agads. Don't even get me started on the space constraints on our surname areas. So many Martins in our system because a name like Hernandez Martinez makes the damned thing amnesic. Or people just drop the other last name off entirely because it's too confusing. No, the person isn't Hernandez. They're Hernandez Martinez. Like Billy Joe. Same shit. Stop renaming people. Fucking heck. That was absolutely perfect. Haha, this is a good one. That's infuriating. My husband and I are separated, but I'll absolutely eviscerate anyone who tries to treat him as less of a parent than I am to our boys. You forgot to lay out the Ouija board to facilitate the conversation. I was in the same situation. Lost my wife while my kids were still in middle school, and had to go through this multiple times. Not just at schools. It's infuriating. Especially since exactly 0 times was it something that only a mother could handle. Even if it was. There was no mother. I'm it. Anyway. I'm very sorry for your loss and sorry that you have to go through this. It probably won't be the last time. This is a great response to something that should have never been an issue. All the teacher had to do was look into the student file. That should get updated every year. And see that there was only one parent listed. If she was fired, then it was deserved for not having common sense.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.